Good morning, and welcome to the virtual Greater Boston Church of Spiritualism. Please join me in our opening prayer. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, we ask your blessing as we gather together in community and in harmony. Help us to open our hearts and minds to your presence, to your light, and to your love. We ask that you calm the hearts that are filled with anger and turmoil, and move us all beyond our opinions and into a place of clarity so that we may all create the highest good for all. We ask your help in creating peace in our world, in our country, and our nation, and help each and every one of us to walk that path of peace and to carry your light wherever we are. We ask that you bring our loved ones close today, so that we remember that we are all eternal, that we are all a part of you, a part of each other, and that it is the light within us that matters. Help us to love one another. As we gather here today, inspire us, uplift us, and help us, so that we may continue to go out into the world, creating a peaceful world. For your presence within us and around us, we truly give thanks. Amen. In our inspirational thought today, I'd like to offer a few thoughts. We all saw the violence in our nation's capital this past week. We witnessed how some incited violence and others inspired, with a reminder of who we are as Americans. Many voices were heard calling us to pray together as a nation so that peace could reign in our country once again. The peace we pray for must begin within each and every one of us, within our hearts of love and within our minds that can understand truth with clarity and purpose. We must live with integrity, with honor and respect for all. As peaceful people, we must stand for what is right and good for the whole. And to be peaceful people, we must live each moment from a place of peace and integrity. I would like to share a few quotes meant to inspire and uplift us all as we start this new year, so that we, together, create an end of the violence of the past. Immanuel Kant said, "For peace to reign on earth, humans must evolve into new beings who have learned to see the whole first. Let us together create the highest good for the whole and not just ourselves. Let us move beyond our biases and opinions so that we can understand what the highest good truly is." Sri Chinmoy said, "World peace can be achieved when in each person the power of love replaces the love of power." We know the only true power comes from the divine. Seeking power in the physical world is an illusion and a waste of time and energy. Let us look to the divine for all of our answers. Mother Teresa said, "If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other." Let us remember that we are part of each other, a part of God. Let us do our part to live in and from peace and help our country and our world evolve into a place where all people create the highest good for all, with our words, with our actions, and with our desires. And Kimberly Jones said, "Don't let people pull you into their storm. Instead, pull them into your peace." And now if you join me to say a prayer for spiritual healing, and let us send this prayer out for all of our country and our world so that we all may live in harmony with each other. And if you'd like to read the words, they will appear on the screen. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of healing, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. And now it's time for our healing meditation, a time where we can relax, let go of the stress, the worry, the fears that we may hold on to, and settle down and just be present with that presence of God that never leaves us. As we take a nice deep breath, just get comfortable. Close your eyes and focus on that breath. Allow that breath to go deep inside and awaken that place of peace and healing that exists within you. For we know that the presence of God exists within you and exists in all of creation. So as you breathe, just imagine that peace and that light of God flowing in with your breath, filling your lungs and moving through your bloodstream gently and easily, carrying that healing power of peace into every particle within that physical body. And as you breathe out, release the stress, release the worries, release the fears, the anxieties that may have entered that physical body. Just breathe in that light and allow it to fill every muscle, every nerve, every bone, every joint. Feel it flowing into every cell, awakening that healing power within you. And just continue to breathe that light in until it fills your entire body, filling every organ, every system. And just focus as that beautiful, peaceful, healing light moves from the top of your head all the way down through that physical body, releasing all the tension, all the strain, all the tightness, until your entire body is ignited in light. And just feel that light moving right through your pores into the air around you, so that you are surrounded with that peace and light of God. And just allow yourself to settle into that peace as it continues to flow through your mind, quieting those busy thoughts, moving those worry and fearful thoughts away. Allow your mind to open and expand to the light that is all around you, to the peace that is here for you. Just breathe it in and feel your mind expanding with a knowing that you are loved beyond measure, that you are a part of the divine, a part of God, and that can never change. And as you expand your mind and open to the inspiration and the wisdom that is all around you, and as you allow that body to settle in and relax, you can feel this healing light traveling through your emotional body, through your energy body, through every particle of you, bringing you back into harmony within yourself, so that you may truly know who you are as a spirit of light. For light fills every particle of you, and that light flows from the divine. Just allow yourself to settle into the light that surrounds you and feel that light lifting you and carrying you into a land of light and beauty. And imagine yourself now being carried into a field of flowers, every variety, every color, and you can smell the scents of all these beautiful flowers, living freely in harmony with one another, each one sharing their beauty and their essence and growing under the light and the love of God. Feel yourself moving toward a field of sunflowers off in the distance. Move into that field and notice how those sunflowers lift their faces to the light. And lift your face to that light. Allow yourself to look up for the inspiration, for the wisdom, for the answers, for the clarity, and for the peace that you need to live your life fully as who you are as a spiritual being. Look up to the light of God and allow that light to shine into you, to wash away from you anything that is not light and love, to fill you with what you need so that you may create peace and harmony within yourself, within your world. Allow that light to rain down upon you, to fill every aspect of you, so that you always remember to look up for your answers, to look to the divine for the answers you need to maintain peace and harmony, to do what's right for the greater whole. Stand within this field of sunflowers. Become like that sunflower, seeking the highest good for the whole, reaching up for your answers, and feel those answers filling your heart, your mind, your spirit, so that you know you are never alone, that wisdom and guidance is always there for you. Stand in this light and feel yourself gently being moved, looking down upon the earth, looking down upon this wonderful, beautiful planet, and feel that light of God radiating through you and from you, shining down upon this planet, flowing into every being, filling every heart with peace, with love, filling every mind with clarity and a new sense of purpose, so that we may all work together to create what works for everyone. Let us stand within this light and continue to radiate it out into the world. And let us hold the vision of our world filled with divine light. That light filling our planet, renewing our resources, bringing to the planet what she needs, bringing to every being what they need to heal. Let us see this light wiping away the viruses that have plagued us, so that we may stand together in health, in peace, in harmony, and in love. Feel that divine love filling your heart, expanding out from you, filling the place that you're sitting, and flowing out from there into your world. And know that wherever you are, you radiate that light into the world. You are an instrument of God wherever you are, for you are made of and from this divine light. It is a part of you. It is who we all are. And as we merge our lights together as one, we create a beautiful world. We create heaven on earth. Take a nice deep breath, and holding that vision of our world filled with light, feel yourself gently coming back to the room, continuing to breathe in that light and to be that light. And remember to always look up, look to the light for the answers you need, for guidance is all around you. And we know that our spirit guides, our loved ones, are always there to remind us, to be that little tap on the shoulder, to remind you to look to the light for all of your answers. Feel yourself whole, complete, and perfect now. So take a nice deep breath and allow yourself to gently come back to the room, bringing that light, bringing that reminder, bringing that love and that peace with you, so that you may continue to be an instrument for God's love on earth. It takes all of us to create a beautiful world. Grounded and back, take another nice deep breath, and as you open your eyes, smile and rejoin the world as the light of God on this planet. It will take all of us to create peace wherever we are. And if we're all back now, let us recite a declaration of principles which will appear on the screen before you, and notice how we live those each and every day. We believe in infinite spirit and that God is infinite spirit. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite spirit. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of an individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule, whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that they make their own happiness or unhappiness as they obey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. And we affirm the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. And now we are blessed to have Alisa Ozernoy bringing us the sermon today. So please welcome and listen to the wonderful words of Alisa. I know that she's going to tell you a lot of information about sunflowers, so please enjoy her wonderful talk. And she will be followed by a musical selection by Damien, LaCount, who will sing God, I Need You Now. And I know you can all agree with me that that is exactly what we need right now.
Hello, my name is Alisa, and I'm so grateful to be here today with you and to be able to share with you what I've learned about why sunflowers are the symbol of spiritualism and what we can learn from them. When you go on our website at the Greater Boston Church of Spiritualism, one thing that you might notice is a field of beautiful sunflowers with blue, clear sky behind them. And then you might notice the motto, as the sunflower turns its face towards the light of the sun, so spiritualism turns the face of humanity towards the light of the truth. That's our spiritualist motto. And that's a motto that anywhere in the world, if you are a spiritualist, that's the motto that you abide by. Why is it there? How did it become our spiritualist motto, and why sunflower? Why not a rose or another flower? Those are some of the questions that were in the back of my mind that I wanted to find out. And I hope the knowledge that I will share with you today will inspire you, will enlighten you, and will help you incorporate the wisdom of the sunflowers into your life. What we know about spiritualism is that at the forefront of spiritualism was the movement for women's rights and to end slavery. And we know that women reformers in 1800s adopted the sunflower as a symbol of truth and constancy. Very soon, spiritualists adopted the same sunflower as an emblem in 1892. We know that William Bach manufactured the lapel pins in his office in Lilydale, New York. And we know that these lapel pins were manufactured right here in Boston, Massachusetts. And we know that in 1928, the sunflower was adopted as the official badge of international spiritualism at the conference of the International Federation. So this means that whether you're in Australia, England, Scotland, or United States, everywhere you go, you will see that sunflower is the inspiration, the motto, and the symbol of spiritualism. But what does it really mean? What does it represent? Well, it represents many things, and one of them is that sunflowers grow towards the sun, just like we spiritualists grow towards spirit. You know, I didn't know that sunflowers were in any way associated with spiritualism, yet I was always strangely drawn to them. In fact, the sunflowers that you see right behind me, I've had since college. There was just something about sunflowers that made me feel happy when I looked at them. So when I was looking for a bowl for saging, I looked at many different options. And this was many years ago before I discovered spiritualism. And I came to a store and I looked and looked and looked. And all of a sudden I saw it, a beautiful bowl made out of clay with sunflowers. And there was just something about that bowl that really spoke to me. So I took it home and I used it for saging the house. I would put white sage and I would say a blessing and I would bless my home. Little did I know that just 3 months later, I would walk through the steps of the Greater Boston Church of Spiritualism and discover spiritualism. I didn't know, but I believe my soul knew, my spirit guides knew. And when I walked in through those doors in Watertown, I was really scared, nervous. I didn't know what to expect. And when I saw sunflowers there and angels, it just made me feel so welcomed and comfortable. And I knew it was the right place for me because of the warmth of the people, but also because of the sunflowers too. Because there's something in them that's so magical, isn't it? And when a year later, I stood there at the ceremony for welcoming members in, I was the new member, and I was given a sunflower by Reverend Mary to hold, as was everyone else there. It was about 10 of us there, I believe. And it was just such a special moment. I was holding that sunflower, and I really felt like I belonged. I really felt like I was a part of something greater than me, and I really felt connected to the people of the church and to spirit. And that sunflower is something that I took home. And that little sunflower every day reminded me of my commitment and my connection. And it made me smile. That's the power and the beauty that the sunflower has to remind us of our connection to spirit, to remind us of how we are spirit, to remind us that even when we're nervous or scared, we always grow towards the sun. All we have to do is look up and remember. The sunflowers are such a fascinating flower because we think of them perhaps as something that grows in the fields of Tuscany, for example. Perhaps you're like me and you've seen those plates with sunflowers or photos of Tuscan hills in Italy with sunflowers. So imagine my surprise when I discovered that sunflowers are actually native to America. And what's amazing about them is that 3,000 years ago, we now have archaeological evidence that shows that in Arizona and New Mexico, Native Americans domesticated sunflowers before corn. They ate it, they used it for oil, they used it for ceremonies. And so sunflower was widely used and appreciated and cultivated. And then when the Spanish came, that's when they took the sunflower to Europe. We know as spiritualists that we believe that there is infinite spirit in everything and that we are part of an infinite spirit, just like the sunflowers are. And similarly, Native Americans believed that there's the great spirit in everything and everyone. And they honored that great spirit in the sunflowers. And so, in some ways, we're continuing that tradition that started right here in the United States by honoring the sunflowers that are native to the United States as our symbol of hope, our symbol of helping humanity towards the light of the truth, that we're all part of that great spirit. Another fascinating tidbit about sunflowers is that they're heliotrophic. That's a mouthful, isn't it? What does it mean? It means that the flower follows the sun throughout the day and grows towards the sun. So all the plants, if you look at the sunflowers, they all will face the same way. And that's because they all turn towards the sun. Isn't that beautiful? But did you know that once a sunflower has flowered and comes into bloom, when all those beautiful petals are there, it no longer is actually heliotropic. It just remains fixed, facing towards the east where the sun rises on the horizon. And when I learned that, I thought, isn't it how we as spiritualists are? We come from many, many different backgrounds, many different religions. And then we discover spiritualism. We discover that light of the truth. And once we do, we follow it. Once we realize that our loved ones live on, once we realize that those that we've been grieving for actually hear us and can communicate back, and we can prove it. We can prove it because we have evidence that can be validated by the person receiving the information. Once we learn that, it can't be unlearned. Once we know that life and love continue after the transition we call death, we can't go back to who we were. We can still have the traditions we've always enjoyed of other religions, but we can't unlearn that knowledge. We can't stop following the sun. Just like the sunflower, we turn towards the light of the truth. And we follow that truth because it becomes our only truth. It becomes that guiding light. Because we know that something out there that's much bigger and brighter than any of us. So we follow and we remain fixed while also growing. We're fixed in our belief that life and love continue after the transition we call death, but we also grow. We continue to grow and learn. And just like sunflowers, we always do it in groups, don't we? Just like sunflowers always group together and grow in a bunch, so do we spiritualists have this tendency to come together because it takes three to communicate: the person giving the message, the person receiving the message, and spirit. So in any gathering, there are at least three of us, two humans and one spirit. Oftentimes it's many more. And how wonderful that we can come together on Zoom. We can share, we can communicate, we can meditate, we can do our healing and prayers. We can give messages from spirit. Just like sunflowers, we're staying connected. Even during these challenging times, we're staying connected to the great spirit, to the infinite spirit, to the sun. And another thing that's interesting about sunflowers is that it's a very practical flower. Bees pollinate it, birds eat its seeds. You can also make oil from it. So it's not just a flower that's pretty, it's a flower that shares everything that it has with others. And that's one of the principles that we have as spiritualists, to treat others as we would like to be treated. Spiritualism is a very giving practice. We share who we are. We share who we are with each other. We share who we are with spirit. We focus on giving, and we focus on learning. We focus on receiving messages and incorporating them into our everyday life. As we look forward to the new year, year 2021, I hope that all of us can incorporate the wisdom and inspiration of sunflowers and look forward towards 2021, focused on our connection to the light of the truth, focused on our connection to the Great Spirit, and remembering that just like sunflowers, we never stop shining bright. So, as we look towards the new year, I would like to share with you a poem that Spirit gave to me about sunflowers, in hopes that it will inspire you. Sunflowers are here to teach us joy and love. No matter what the year, we are guided from above. No matter what the lesson, stand tall with Spirit's love. With time, all will be clear. We are guided from above. So plant the seeds of kindness, positivity, and love. No matter what the season, we're cheered from above. And I'd like to finish by another inspirational poem by Spirit that I hope you will take into the new year. Don't give up on yourself. God never gives up on you. Remember the simple truth whenever you're sad and blue. Compassion for who you are and God's ever-present love, embracing you from above, igniting the spark of love. Hold on to your faith and love. Believe in yourself, and it's true. No matter how hard life gets, God never gives up on you. I would like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to share with you about sunflowers, and I hope each one of you will look up at the sunflower and remember to always grow towards the sun, just like the sunflower. Thank you.
Well, everybody's got a story to tell, and everybody's got a wound to be healed. I wanna believe there's beauty here, 'cause oh, I get so tired of holding on. I can't let go, I can't move on. I wanna believe there's meaning here. How many times have you heard me cry out, God, please take this? How many times have you given me strength to just keep breathing? Oh, I need you, God, I need you now. Standing on a road I didn't plan, wondering how I got to where I am. I'm trying to hear that still small voice. I'm trying to hear above the noise. How many times have you heard me cry out, God, please take this? How many times have you given me strength to just keep breathing? Oh, I need you, God, I need you now. Though I walk through the shadows How many times have you given me strength? How many times have you heard me cry out, God, please take this? How many times have you given me strength to just keep breathing? Oh, I need you, God, I need you now. I need you now. Oh, I need you, God, I need you now. I need you now. I need you now.
Thank you, Alisa, for that wonderful sermon, and thank you, Damien, for the song. And it's great also to see Rob in the background playing. We miss him greatly. And now it's time for our spirit communication, a time where we can hear from our loved ones from the spirit world, and I will bring to you whatever it is they bring through me. I don't know who's watching, but I know the spirit world does, and that's a little bit different of how we work on the video. Normally, I would have people in front of me, and I would know where I was going, but Spirit's working with us in a very different way right now, so we go with that flow, and I will bring exactly what they want to say, and hopefully you'll recognize that. And if you recognize your loved ones, just drop me an email and let me know that you have been touched by their message. I know that a lot of the information Spirit brings is not just about giving a message to one person, but they're trying to deliver their wisdom, what they've learned in their lives, to everyone, because as they help everyone, they are also blessed. So let's see who's with us today. Okay. I have a little lady who's coming in. I feel like she's very anxious to come in, and she's pushing her way right through the doorway. And I feel like she's not too tall. She's probably my height, petite thing. And I feel like she would kept her hair short, because I feel like it's well cropped, and she's very neat and tidy as she comes in. And I feel like she gets right down to business. She's the type of person that I feel like she was very businesslike when she was at work, that she was someone who would have taken charge of things. I feel very much she's a supervisor or a boss in some way. I feel like she would have had people under her, and I feel like she was very good with figures, and she could analyze any situation and understand what could be done. And I feel like she's coming and bringing her gift of ways of how to analyze the situation and make decisions and move with those decisions. She said a lot of times people have a problem with actually making a decision and following through. But I get the sense from her that once she assessed a situation, she made a decision, and she always followed through to the end. She wouldn't second guess herself or change midway, because then things would fall apart. So I feel like she's coming in. I feel like she's talking to her family, but also everyone. And I feel like she wants people to know that you make a decision of who you are and how you want to live your life, and just stick to that. Don't see what other people, how other people have to do things. Do things your own way, because she said you have to stick to it in order to succeed in things. And I feel like she's talking to, I feel like there's two girls she wants to connect to, and these feel very much like daughters. And I feel like she wants to connect to her daughters and say, decide who you are. Don't look to someone else to make the decision of who you are or how you're going to function in life. You decide that, and then stick to that. And eventually people will accept that. I feel like one of them, a daughter, has tried to make some changes, and she doesn't feel as if they're being received. And so she's kind of wallowing. And she says, don't ever wallow. It takes a while for people to accept the changes that you make within yourself. But eventually they will, so stick to it. Don't give up. I feel like she wants to let her daughter know that she's on the right path. She's on the right track, and she's following a new spiritual pathway, and she's a little bit unsure of herself, so she's kind of wallowing. But she said, don't give up. You're on the right path. I'm here behind you, and I'm pushing you along. And she said, I'm coming in because you're not the only one that wallows on your pathway. She said, everybody has a problem sometimes with who they are and how they're going to interact with the world. And sometimes we interact in a way we're not proud of, and we think we're completely off the path, and we're not. She said, just stay the course. And she had a lot of discipline in her. I feel like she's like pulled together, neat and tidy, and she's bringing that discipline to you and to everyone to help us stay the course, walk the path that you know will be the best in the long run, not only for you, but for everyone. And I feel like she's marching behind, and she's blowing a horn. So, okay, she's bringing me into New Year's Eve, and I feel like her memories that she wants to bring is celebrating New Year's and blowing the horn at midnight, saying, this will be the best year ever. And she says, this will be the best year ever if you decide that. So it's up to you. So blow your own horn and make it the best year ever, because every year you live should be better than the last one, because you're the creators. And I feel like she sort of lived her life that way. She looked back and she decided that, how can I make things better this year? Not that last year was bad, but that every year is a progression. And so she's coming to help everyone progress forward. We're always changing and evolving and growing and progressing, she says. So stick to your guns and stay the course and do what's best for yourself and for everyone. And I leave you with her very matter-of-fact way about her and her wonderful wisdom. I think we all should follow that one. Thank you so much. Okay. I feel like I have a gentleman who comes in, and he comes in sort of an easygoing way. I feel a wonderful smile, and very outgoing and very gentle as he connects to people. I feel very peaceful with him, and I feel like he always tried to walk a path of peace. I feel like he's not only a father but a grandfather, and he says, I have many titles, but he said, I definitely want to talk to my son out there, because I feel like he's reaching out to lift his son up at this particular time. There's been a lot of issues going on in his life, and he's having a really hard time finding the peace within himself, let alone creating peace for other people. So I feel like this gentleman is coming in to reach his son, and he's bringing that sense of peace and harmony that starts here. And he said, I had peace in my life because I made sure I was at peace with me, my decisions, how I lived my life, who I was, and what I did. And I felt like he had a lot of opportunities in his life that could have led him on the wrong path. But I feel like he always made the choice that was in alignment with his own integrity and what he felt to be honorable. I feel like this man is a very honorable man. I feel like he would have been in the service, and I feel like his son was also in the service. And I feel like he said the service taught me discipline and honor, and I learned respect. So I feel like he took the best from his experience in the service, and he used those lessons in his life, and he left the rest behind. And he said some of the experiences you had in the service years that you were in did not bring you the best lessons. And he said, sometimes you have to just look deeper, find what you learned that will help you in your life, and let everything else go. Because some of the experiences don't actually help us to move forward, but keep us stuck in the past. So I feel like he wants to help his son move forward and to let the past go, to not keep holding on to regrets about the past. He said regrets will never serve you. Learn from them, move forward. And I feel like he learned how to do that, and he learned how to separate the negative experiences from the wisdom that he learned from those experiences, and we're able to march forward in a peaceful way from a place of integrity and honor, because he also learned how to forgive himself. And he said that's one of the biggest lessons anybody can learn. We have regrets of things we've said or done or been part of. He said we have to look at them and forgive ourselves because we weren't at our best in that moment. And, when we forgive ourselves, we're able to forgive others and know that, some people get carried away with the fray. And when you get carried away, you're not really in your right place to make the best decisions. So if you've gotten carried away, forgive yourself. But pick yourself up and don't let it happen again. Go forward thinking in a positive way on how you can live in alignment with your own integrity. He's definitely trying to get that message through to everyone. Sometimes we screw up. And he said when we screw up, we have to recognize that. And when we recognize it, we can make a choice to not do that again and forgive ourselves for screwing up, because that's the only way forward. So if everybody just let things go and start afresh, anew, each and every day, we would have a much better world, and we would feel so much better within ourselves and have so much more peace. So I feel like he's trying to encourage us all to forgive ourselves, to forgive those around us that may have not acted in the best possible way around us, and let things go and start anew. Every day is a new day. And he started every day as a new day, and that's what helped him to continue to walk in that place of peace and honor. And he said, you're all honorable souls. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So respect yourself, forgive yourself, love yourself, and then let that flow out to others. And I leave you with his blessings and lots of love. There's a lot of love flowing from him. And he says, let the regrets go. He has. Okay, thank you. No regrets. Good job. Okay, who else is coming in here? Okay, I have 3 people coming in at the same time. It's like a trio. I feel like there's 3 brothers that are coming in, one beside the other, and they're brothers to each other. So there's 3 brothers in the spirit world that are coming in to talk to all those who were left behind. And I feel like they've all been in spirit for quite some time. I feel like they're bringing me back to World War II is the era that they were young men in, because they're telling me they were all in the service. And I'm seeing Navy cap, and I'm also seeing Army. So I feel like I've got the Army hat. I can't tell the color. It's an odd color. And a khaki Army, yeah, and the white Navy hat. So I feel like 2 were in the Navy and 1 was in the Army, but they were all brothers, but in different places in the service. And I feel like they're bringing me that patriotic sense. They're coming in at this particular time to talk to their family, but also to talk to everyone and say how different the world was back then. There was a love of country. There was a desire to do the right thing. And that was underneath, that was a foundation that was built into every family and everyone that walked this nation. And I feel like they're trying to bring that patriotism back, that old way of doing what's right simply because it's right, and they're like winding the camera back. And I feel like they want us to go back and think about, yes, life was simpler back then, but there was also a lot of value that they had, and the way they treated one another, and the way they had fun, and they had a lot of fun in their lives, but they also respected one another, and they never went so overboard that they made really bad mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, they said, but I'm feeling humor and laughter and fun with them, and I feel like they want to bring us back to a place of simplicity, a place of honor, a place of patriotism, a place of being proud of living in this country and being proud of being an American. And he said that the one that's stepping forward is the taller one of the three, and I feel like he's the youngest, actually, of the three brothers. And I feel like he's saying, it's time for you to understand the importance of loving your country and standing up for what's good and taking care of your neighbor and not taking advantage of other people. I feel like they're showing me a scene from a movie where the boxer, the fighter, received money from aid from the government, and when he earned enough, he brought it back. There was an honor amongst people in helping one another, and I feel like that's what feeds the patriotism, when you help other people and when you really take care of your brother. You're your brother's keeper, and you should never forget that. So I feel like they're coming in like saluting with patriotism. I'm sure because of the issues that went on this week, but they're standing tall and saying, stand together for the good. Stand together and be proud of who you are as an American. Let the country rise into its greatness. It's not too late to do that. So I feel like they're coming in, and I feel like I have a whole lot of soldiers coming in here from previous generations and saying, don't forget the core values that are within you as a soul, as a spirit, and allow those core values of honor and respect to lead the way as you march forward to create a better country and a better world together. So I feel like they're standing tall and proud of who they are and how they lived, and to let us all know, no, don't forget what's really important is caring for all of the people, not just of your country, but of the whole world, because we're all in this together. So I leave you with all of their salutes as they come in strong and powerful today. Okay, I think we have time for one more. Okay, I have a woman who comes in. I feel very grandmotherly with her, and very much a lady. I feel like I've got the gloves on, and I'm dressed to the nines and looking very beautiful. I feel like she's a glamorous grandmother. So I feel like as she comes in, she's got a beautiful smile, but very well taken care of. Beautiful hairstyle, lovely clothes, and I feel like she never went out the door without looking her best. I feel simple jewelry with her, and just a really lovely woman as she comes in. I feel like she's taller than me, and I feel like she would have had her hair done at the hairdressers, not doing it herself, because it had to be perfect. And I feel like she was very much a perfectionist in how she presented herself, what her home looked like, and what she expected of her children. And she said that got in my way quite a bit, that perfectionism. She said, because, I expected the standards were high, and I always was raising that bar. She said, but because I always kept the bar high, my children raised to that bar. They would always succeed, because the other thing I taught them, even though I raised the bar, I taught them that they could do anything that they wanted to do if they put their whole self into it. And she's coming in very much with that discipline as well. She put her whole self into everything she did, and she taught her children to do the same. And I feel like it's her children now teaching the grandchildren how to live up to the highest standards. And I feel like she's encouraging you to continue to teach them well, to teach them right. I feel like all the spirit world is coming in to remind us of our true value within ourselves, the core of our foundation, and who we are as honorable and loving beings. And I feel like she's wanting to let her children and her grandchildren know how very proud she is of them and how much she loves them. And she's continuing to come in to help them walk the path that is always growing, always reaching for the next best thing that you can do. And the next best thing isn't always about accomplishments and success and money-wise. The next best thing is how accomplished you are as a human, as a being of love, as a humanitarian. Because I feel like, as well as being a perfectionist, she was a humanitarian, and she helped many organizations. I feel like she would have been a part of a number of organizations that helped those less fortunate than herself. And she devoted a lot of her time to that and taught her children to devote their time to organizations that could help the needy. So I feel like that's what she wants to get across to us all, that's where our success lies. How much of a humanitarian, how much of a good human being are you? And think about that when you go to sleep at night. Think about that when you're teaching your children. Think about that as you walk your path, so that you're always the best that you can be. I feel like she did that. She really worked hard to be the best that she could be, and to always raise her standard to be even better tomorrow. And I feel like her children do that, and her grandchildren are learning that. And she said, keep it flowing, because that's how we bring the standards back and create a wonderful world. So I leave you with her very beautiful spirit and soul, and please take her wisdom and her beautiful light, because she's shining like a beam of light as she begins to step back. All I see is light. And she said, that's what's important to take care of. It's your light, not your hairdo, that matters. So I leave you with her beautiful blessings and lots of love. And I thank all of those from the spirit side of life who have joined near today to bring us their wisdom, what they've learned in their lives. And I thank them for sharing and inspiring us all. And remember, if you've received something that seemed that it was directly related to you, drop me a line and let me know. We're making those connections. Whew, and now we have a few announcements before we close the service. Members' annual meeting will be Sunday, January 24th at 1 p.m. on Zoom. Don't forget to pay your membership dues by then, and I will be sending out the link to come into that meeting the day before on January 23rd. Also, we welcome new members. Anyone can join as a member. Just go on our website. And also, we have a new category. If you want to support the church but not become a member right now, you can be a friend of the Greater Boston Church of Spiritualism. And you can do that in the same way just by making a notation that you would like to be a friend of the church. We welcome donations through our website and also through Venmo and Facebook. It's your donations and your generosity that keep the church growing. So we are very grateful to all of you here. And we will be holding a medium's night on Monday, January 25th from 7 to 9 on Zoom. You do need to schedule that in advance. You can send me an email, and my email will be on the screen below to schedule. Once you've scheduled, you can pay for that on the website or through Venmo or Facebook. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And we thank you all for joining us throughout this time. We will continue to hold services on this YouTube channel, and we look forward to seeing you again. So let us say a closing prayer as we close the service with open hearts, open minds, and filled with light. Infinite Spirit, beloved God, we thank you for the healing, for the light and the love that we have felt here in this time together. Continue to fill us and to be with us as we move forward into our world. Help us to be the best that we can be. Help us to live in a place of peace and harmony, and help us to create a world in which we are proud to live. We thank you for the blessings, for the loved ones, and for all the light that fills us now and always, as we say, Amen. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you all next week. God bless and keep the peace.